we're going to welcome our co-founder, which is Apolo. Apolo 呢，他非常的特别哦，他呢是运动界的巨星，曾经呢连续3年哦，在这个冬季奥运有非常杰出的表现。他最厉害的地方是获得了足足8面的奖牌。好，我们这个精彩的冬奥选手呢，他会为我们来分享他的职业生涯，还有关于我们 Elysian 的一些相关讯息。Apolo's unique and distinguished background comes from winning 8 medals from the Winter Olympics across 3 consecutive games and finishing his career as the most decorated American Winter Olympian in history. So please welcome co-founder Apolo， 请让我们欢迎到我们的共同创办人 Apolo， 热烈掌声欢迎。
Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I can see everyone in the audience. I wish I was actually there with you either in Taiwan or in Hong Kong. I first want to say this has been a very different year, a very challenging year for many of you. I can see some of you are wearing masks there in the audience. And, you know, this has been a test, I think, not only to many of our belief systems, but also a huge reminder of some things that are very, very important to each and every single one of us. You know, I was asked today to speak to you all today on a couple of different topics, and really one that is, I think, really important for all of us to remind ourselves is that as we finish this year, you know, this is the end of November. We only have, you know, effectively, you know, 10 more days plus 1 more month in the remainder of this year. And the beginning of this year, we set forth some very specific goals for all of us, right? I'm sure many of you had financial goals. Some of you had personal goals in terms of health and wellness. Some of you had aspirations and dreams for your business or knowledge. Whatever those things were, whatever those improvements were that you were setting your sights on, at the snap of a finger, a lot of those things changed almost overnight. And with that change came this new adaptation in a way that we live our life. And I know that Taiwan has done an excellent job in terms of really containing and maintaining their consistency of being able to work and continue on. And so when we look at the remainder of this year, I think about really this last month that we have remaining. And as we prepare ourselves for the 2021, what I call the season, it is going to be a wonderful opportunity for you to break through and to level up. And, you know, I've been talking about lately 5 specific things that I'd like to share with you today that hopefully you can take with you. And hopefully you can write some of these things down. They've helped me in my personal life. They've helped me throughout my life in sport. And they continuously remind me of the things that are the most important. And I call them the 5 golden principles. And these principles are things that I think that anyone can incorporate into their life. No matter the challenge that you're facing, no matter how aspirational or large your goals are, these are really, really important for you to integrate on a daily basis. The first one I want to talk about is gratitude. You know, I've spoken about these 5 golden principles many times in the past, but this is a really key element for you to remind yourselves on a daily basis. Waking up, feeling and reminding yourself of just one single thing that you can actually say and feel in your heart that you have gratitude for. Regardless of the challenges that you're facing, this is a fundamental and a scientifically proven mechanism that helps you eliminate fear, helps you eliminate anger, helps you eliminate all forms of sadness, any other effective emotion that is going through your body and going through your mind. When you have a sense of gratitude, whether it's you have gratitude for your family, whether it's gratitude that you have food to eat today, whether it's gratitude that you can see, or the gratitude that you have an opportunity to pursue whatever businesses that you're having, deeply feel that. And that is when you can really start to embody this area that sets the rest of your day up on a cognitive and on a mental perspective. That's a really, really important part, right? So when we talk about priming the way that you'd like your day to unfold, not everyone wants to go through this visualization exercise, but starting your day with that piece of gratitude allows you for even a fraction in a moment of time to pause, to collect your thoughts, to remind yourself of the most simple things to be grateful for. And, given the world of distraction and all these different elements that are going on around us, that is one part I believe that we do have control over, and you should be concentrating on that. So the first one is gratitude. The second one is giving. And when we typically think of giving, we think of things like giving to others and helping others. That can be in the form of education. That can be in the form of lending an ear to someone and hearing them. It can be looking and seeing someone in the eyes and listening to the challenges and the problems that perhaps they're facing, or just giving time and energy to someone who really needs it, but also giving yourself a chance. And so I talk about something called self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is essentially just getting in your own way, being too analytical, focusing too much on the things that you can't control, or just simply not believing that you and your path are going to be aligned to give you exactly or what it is that you desire on those goals and those metrics that you're using. And so giving yourself a chance and also giving yourself the best possible arena to succeed and thrive. So if your environment is not promoting positivity and growth and energy and learning and all these things that you need to change your environment. And that can be the group of friends that you're around. That can be the type of business that you're pursuing. That can be the way that you live your life on a daily basis. But give yourself the best possible chances of having success. It is only then, when you have those elements, are you able to really level up. So the second one is giving. The third, number 3, is called grit. Now, I don't know how this word translates into Chinese, but grit is the essence of the things that we know when it's going to be very difficult, when we know it is uncertain, when there is a climate that perhaps we can't possibly understand. And the more that we can prepare ourselves and embrace when you will face that resistance, the greater the level of success you will have in achieving and overcoming those types of obstacles. And I'll give you an example. So imagine you are trying to cross the river, okay? And you're on one side of the river and you need to cross on the other side of the river. And in between, you don't know how deep it is. You don't know how hard the water is rushing down this river. You don't know how cold it is. You don't know what's in the water. And there's a sense of uncertainty and fear and maybe some doubt. And oftentimes people begin that process. They start to cross the river to go to the other side, and then they back out. They stop because they're uncomfortable or because they don't understand that it was supposed to be hard, right? The things perhaps are the most difficult are the things that will require you to go above and beyond what you previously thought was possible. In sport, we have those elements all the time. In the Olympics, on a daily basis, in a weekly basis, and a monthly and a yearly basis, we are always concentrating and trying to find ways to improve, even if it's a fraction of those moments. And as we look forward and as we are moving forward in that realm, we are trying to focus on, I understand that this process is going to be challenging, but I'm reminding myself and I'm preparing myself in those moments that when it gets hard, I'm going to stay true to myself. I'm going to remind myself of the purpose and the reason why I began in the first place. That is a huge component in terms of leveling up your mindset and really breaking through to that next level. And that's going to come from you. You have to ask yourself the hard question. Do I have what it takes to continue when it's really, really challenging, when I don't have all of the answers? And sometimes you need to pivot and adapt and reinvent yourself. And that also is within your control. But the more that you can prepare for that mentally and understand and prepare 4 years out, 3 years out, 2 years out, 1 year out, the better that you'll have success as you navigate through what this looks like. Number 3 is grit. Number 4 is called gearing up your expectations. So something that you can simplify this and call it, I am going to elevate my game. I'm going to break through. I'm going to personally increase the baseline and the fundamental layer that exists that I will accept. And that's called just leveling up, right? So you're gearing up your personal expectations. If you are trying to transform and you are someone who is seeking to really go to the next level, well, what is that going to require of you? That's going to require you on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis to consistently be chipping away and inching towards those goals. But the only way that that is actually going to come to fruition and to have success is if you do what? Is if you have all these other areas around you and those areas are no longer acceptable. So give you an example. Let's use food for an example. You know that eating certain types of food on a daily basis will be good for you, and eating other types of food will be bad for you. Well, if you continuously eating that bad food, you're never going to reach the goal that you have of maybe perhaps losing weight or whatever it is that your specific goal is at that time. So the way that you do this is you find, and you do this already, this is no longer acceptable in your life. When you make that statement to yourself and say, I no longer accept, my level is here, right? So for some people, they say, I always make my bed in the morning. For some people, they say, I always do, X, Y, and Z or something. The way that they do that, that is a fundamental belief. And that is the baseline layer of expectation for yourself. And in your pursuit of breaking through and in your pursuit of leveling up, you have to increase those expectations for yourself. So if it's on a personal, on a financial basis, what will you set your target to? I want to make blank amount of money. I want to make X amount of dollars. Well, let's reverse engineer the steps in order to get that. And if it's 2 times what you made last year, if it's 10 times, if it's 100 times what you made last year, whatever that goal is financially, what are the steps that you need to do today, tomorrow, and the next day consistently in order to make that goal and that dream come to a reality? And that comes when you start accepting that what you did yesterday may not work moving forward. Does that make sense? What you did yesterday is not indicative. It is not a clear path of what you will do moving forward. You have to always keep evolving. And the last and final principle that I want to talk to you about is the principle of getting into action. So today, I'm looking at this schedule here, and it's filled with a lot of great speakers and really interesting stories and products and all that great stuff. But at the end of the day, when you leave and you walk out of these doors, what commitment are you making to yourself? So what will you do today? What will you do tomorrow to begin that process to get into action? I can talk to you all I want. I can try to inspire you and tell these crazy stories of mental toughness and training and physical and spiritual, all these areas. But unless you decide to go get into action, nothing's going to change. And that's within your control. There's many things in life that we can't control. Those are uncertain. Those are, I call it as if you're passing in this train of life, sitting in the passenger seat, life is happening to you. And so I ask of you to move into the driver's seat, to recognize there's many things in life that we can't control. And you accept and you adapt to those types of situations, but you know how you can perceive those challenges and turn them into opportunities. So imagine yourself for a second, and you're in the car. And you're actually you're the passenger. You have no control over the steering wheel. You can't respond in any way that you want. It's time for you to actually shift over into the driver's seat, grab a hold of the steering wheel, accept the fact that you don't have control over all of the outcomes. But the process is a very important part of what we're talking about. And when you can embrace the process, and the process is the steps necessary for you to move forward. That's about being able to perceive all these things that come your way as learning lessons, as life lessons. And it's hard because mistakes that we make are painful. They're painful psychologically, they're painful emotionally, they're painful financially. But you can't change what has happened yesterday only by taking them as lessons moving forward. So today, remind yourself, write down on a piece of paper, put it in your phone. What are you going to do today to level up? How are you going to get into action? How are you going to take the tools, tactics, and strategies that everyone is going to be showing you today and applying them to your life to give you the best possible chance of living a life that you deserve, the one that you aim and aspire to live, not the one that you dream about, the one that you are deservingly. And it's not going to come easy. It comes with hard work. It comes with embracing the fire and the pain at times that it's challenging. And it's going to come with you deciding to go get into action, climbing out of your comfort zone. And so for many of you, some of you have been living a life that maybe you feel very comfortable with, and you're very routine, and this is the way that you always do things. But if you want to level up and you want to break through, what is it going to take in order to do that? And that requires reassessing and reanalyzing the things that you do on a daily basis. I know that you can do this. I've done it myself many times. I've gone up, I've gone down. I have had amazing success. I've had tremendous failures. And all of those things have been lessons and learnings to callous what? To callous my mind, to keep my mind stronger so that I always wake up feeling like I can be strong. I can make the right decisions. I know the type of things I want to put into my body to give me strength, to give me virality, that I can continue on. And I have purpose. My purpose is X, Y, and Z. So again, I gave you the 5 golden principles. I know that each and every single one of you can use these and integrate them into your life on a daily basis. And most importantly, it's time for you to get into action. Stop holding yourself back. Stop blaming someone else or something else, and start looking inward to figuring out, what can I do today to make the biggest impact on myself, on my family, and in my community. Thank you so much. I believe we have someone who is a good friend of mine up next who will be speaking about some really interesting science and data about how to actually do this to making sure that your mind and your body are operating at its optimal levels. Thank you. I wish I was there with all of you, and hopefully soon we will spend some time and I can be with all you in person. Take care.
Thank you, Apolo. 谢谢 Apolo 带来的精彩演讲。